I have a spiritual gift for you. I'm going to give you a 5-day class on meditation in 15 minutes. I want to create an IST pandemic, inner sanctuary training pandemic. The benefits of meditation are contagious, and I want you to have them, and anyone who's your loved one, your friend, you may share this with anyone. There's a longer version of my teaching this class that's I've started uploading on YouTube, but I want to give you a tool that you can use immediately and for it to be beneficial to you. The very first thing you do for meditation, you just lie down in a quiet place and close your eyes. I like lying down. You can sit up. Ask for angels to be around you. Ask for your room to be lined with spiritual guides, angels, or ask for the presence of God. And then take in 3 deep breaths and begin to relax and to let go. Imagine the hands of God that are underneath your bed and they're holding you, because truly the hands of God are always there. You are always in God's heart, and God is always in your heart. Lo, I am always with you, is what Jesus said. So you can imagine him being there as one of your spiritual guides. What we're going to create is basically a temple. And inside that temple, there are several different rooms, and each of the rooms is designed for you to be able to work on a different aspect of your life. The very first thing that you come up to is a grotto, and the grotto is filled with angels all around. And there's a big giant waterfall, and you go into the waterfall and you imagine the light of the waterfall pouring over you and pouring into the crown of your head. So you're literally filling with light. And then you can imagine the angels are there and they're sending you love. And you just breathe in that light and breathe in that love and bring it into your heart. We're creating a temple that looks like this. So we start into the grotto, and I will get the waterfall meditation is already online. You can just listen to it. You can listen to it over and over again. We start in there, and that one is also for bringing in the love of your friends, the love of loved ones, and to forgiving any of those people that you've intentionally or unintentionally hurt. Then we walk into the temple, and the first room you come to is your spiritual gym. Your spiritual gym, you imagine that there's a big punching bag in the middle of it, and I imagine that the floor is lit up like with black and white tiles, and they light up, and you go in there to release your negative emotions. So I imagine that it's playing Ice Ice Baby, and I'm sending all those negative thoughts, whether it's anger or fear or anxiety, and I send that into the light of the ground. And then you imagine there's a punching bag, and you can spiritually punch it if you want, but you're sending all your negative thoughts into there. And it may be a person that you're sending into there. Then you ask Archangel Michael to come with a net of light and to take all those emotions and send it up, and imagine them just leaving your body. The next room is your restore room. You go into that room, and in the back of the room there's liquid light. So imagine there's a big liquid light lake that's a golden white light, and I lie down in that liquid light and just imagine that light filling my body, just completely filling my body. And here you meet your spiritual higher self. Everybody has a higher self. Above that higher self, we have a collective of all of our spirits where we're one, and this is a perfect spiritual version of yourself. And you can commune with this higher self and ask, what's the purpose of me going through this in my life? What's the next step that I take? How do I forgive somebody you need to forgive? And ask for spiritual guidance, and just close your eyes and imagine how they're going to guide you. Then you leave your restore room and you go into your pamper room. Your pamper room is right here. Your pamper room is where you play. I imagine that there's a big chair like where you go to get your fingernails done, and it's, shaking and rolling up and down my back, and I call in angels to give me a massage. And then sometimes I'll play here. I imagine that I'm going down whitewater rafting, and I'm going down in the water, and I'm swimming in the cold water, and I just play and pamper myself. It's very important for us to do this for ourselves. The next room that you go into is the insight chamber. The insight chamber contains the library of all the books in the world. It has the wisdom of the ages in there, and you can call upon spiritual guides to come in there and give you answers. Before you go in, you go and take a key that's like a skeleton key, and before you put the key in, you set your intention of what you want to ask a question about. So about 10 years ago, when I had a really big setback and I didn't have a job and I didn't have any money coming in, and I was going through difficult legal times at that time, that I just asked, what's my next step? And I put the key in, I went to the door and said, what's my next step? And what I heard was build a door. And that's what I did. I built a door and made my house into a duplex and made the other side of the house into an Airbnb and started getting income very fast. You can ask to meet spiritual guides there. I've met Wayne Dyer there. I've met Fred Trump there when I've asked about a real estate question. I've met Irma Bombeck there. You can meet anybody that saying who could come and help me. So it's like a hall of all the spiritual guides of the world that you can call in and ask, and sometimes it'll be a surprise who shows up. But ask the question very clearly and ask for the answer. The next room that you come to is the dolphin room on this side. The dolphin room is where you go when you're feeling sadness or sorrow and you want to connect with the dolphin who gives you unconditional love. I can imagine that dolphin is pink. So I go in there and imagine I'm walking onto the sand of the ocean. I go into the ocean and then I ride the dolphin and imagine all the sorrow and all the sadness and all the losses that are going into the dolphin, and just we're going through the water and I just release them. And I let go. And the dolphin is full of unconditional love, and dolphins communicate through sonar, through sound. So just listen to and feel their unconditional love coming into you. The next room is your mountain room. And the mountain room, you go in and you imagine there's a huge mountain, and you begin to climb up that mountain. You can climb any way you want. You can go by elevator, you can float up, you can walk up, you can go mountain climbing because you're not going to fall. You can ask for a spiritual guide to come with you. You can ask Jesus to come with you. You can ask Archangel Metatron to come with you. You can say, I would like to get up to the top of the mountain. Now you go up to the top of the mountain and you just put your hands up in the air and you celebrate yourself. Behold your life. Behold your life. And say, I did it. I climbed the mountain. Now think of those angels that are in your heart from the grotto and say, we did it together from the grotto. There isn't anything I can't do. And I thank God in spirit for my strength and for my wisdom, for my life, for courage, and for love. And I behold my life and think of all the good things I've done in my life. Like usually we go through all the bad things we do, the way they're failures, we regrets, we didn't do enough, we're not perfect enough, made mistakes. Instead here, you behold your life and think of all the good things. I think about myself when I was 5 years old and I had a red plaid skirt on and a white shirt, and it was 5 a.m. and I was completely ready and dressed to go to kindergarten for the first time. I was so happy, I was so enthusiastic, I was so overjoyed to be going to school like my big brothers and sisters and being able to learn new things. And I just try to remember that pure enthusiasm that I had and the pure ecstatic joy that I had. And I think about all the very good things that I'm happy about in my life, of my children and my grandchildren, and happy celebrations that we've had over the years, Christmas and Thanksgiving and Family Beach Week. And I behold my life and I think, I have a good life. I have a fantastic life. And I think about that and I am grateful for all those things. I behold my life. And you'll begin to behold your life more in your life when you do this as an exercise. The next room that you come to is one of my favorite rooms. It's the creative lab. You go in there and you pick up your wand of light. We are all light. I think of God as the ocean and that we're one cup of it. And in our heart is the light and the love of God. And we're an extension of it. And my wand of light is an extension of that God. And I use that energy to metaphysically manifest that which I want. I imagine what it is I want. It could be a convertible. It could be helping my clients. It could be finding an answer to some problem that I have in a deal. It could be helping other people out. I helped a mother help her daughter who was sick and brought her daughter in this room. And I think of this room as the energization of God. And I take my wand of light and I think of that thing and I imagine it already happened, of a healed child, of a convertible that I'm driving down the road and I feel it. I see it as it's already done, and I feel it, like have the wind in my hair, and I have the radio playing, and I'm running down the coastline with the ocean and the air in my, smelling it, and the sun, and imagine it and feel it as if it's already happened, and then pray and energize this with God, and pray that for that person, for that situation, relationship, and energize and manifest that which it is that you so strongly desire. The next room is the very last room, and that's the sacred room. Inside this room, you want to bring all your sacred objects, things that might be of great value to you. For me, it might be like my little Kuan Yin Buddha. Kuan Yin is a Chinese spiritual mother, and my crystals up here, my favorite pieces that I have, and bring them around you and imagine that they're in your sacred room. And they may be tapestries of beautiful things, but when you go in there, you're reminded that you're surrounded by them. And then I just lay down in a bed there. Some people think this is the most important room, and that's where you don't ask for anything, you don't intend for anything, but you let yourself be still and listen to be ready to receive and commune with God or whatever spiritual people might come in here. I've had Buddhist monks come in and give me blessings. Just go up and touch my head. Give me a blessing of grace, compassion, love, abundance. And sometimes they come and say thank you to me. You know, like, thank you for that old lady that you helped at the grocery store yesterday. And it's the place where I allow the presence of God to come to me, and I find inspiration, and I receive from the universe in stillness and hope. So I'm going to show this to you one more time. There's one more station in here that's the altar, and sometimes at the very end you'll go to the altar and ask for a spiritual gift. Sometimes that spiritual gift is like an Aladdin's lamp that I'll rub on it, and I remember to hear, verily, verily, I say to thee, ask, and you shall receive. And in this IST meditation, you ask and you allow yourself to receive, knowing that Spirit and the source of energy of all that is wants to help you in your life. And right now in this life, the one thing that we have that's free and it's infinitely available is spiritual strength. So I ask you to practice this, and you might want to listen to my other meditations that go into further depth about each of the rooms, and I'm doing meditations for several of the rooms, so you can just, put your phone on, turn it on, and just listen to that meditation. The waterfall meditation's about 12 minutes. They're all shorter than 15. And I want you to share this. I would love to create an inner sanctuary pandemic where meditation is contagious, where spiritual strength is contagious, and that we begin to catch our connection with our own spirit and spirits outside us. So I leave you with this gift, and I hope that you'll enjoy it and use it. This is out of 27 years of spiritual seeking and training with the Shipibo Indians in Peru, going with the Aborigines in Australia, and going to Delphi, a school of spiritual studies in Georgia for several years. This particular tool is the strongest and the best tool, and the one I use every single day. I wake up and I do this meditation. You could do it for 2 minutes, you can do it for an hour, but you can use it to help metaphysically manifest your desires, manifest prosperity, manifest abundance, but most importantly, to generate peace and connect with your inner strengths that are always there at any time, at any place. And from the love of my heart, I send you my universal love, and I wish you good things.